One world currency.
The New World Order.
Those are the roots of trouble.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. But I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
And now, welcome to another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. Here's your host from federaljack.com. It's Popeye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's live edition. It is May 31st, 2013. That's right, I am back live. I have not been live since this past Monday when I did my broadcast with Mark Passio. And I explained on Joe's show yesterday really quick, but in case any of you didn't hear Joe's broadcast, very tragically and unfortunately this week I lost something, and someone, I don't even want to say something because she wasn't just an animal, but someone very close to me, a family member of mine, my service dog, my 14-year-old golden retriever, Lulu. And she was like my child, basically. So losing her this week has been very hard on Mrs. Popeye and myself. So I had to take Tuesday and Wednesday off to attend to my baby. And then, yesterday I took off because my mind obviously just was not in the game. So I needed a few days to, kind of get through it and be able to, get back on my game. And I knew that I had promised earlier in the month that today would be the giveaway of the Magical Butter machine, or actually three of them. I had originally thought I was just going to have two to give away, but the owner, Garyn, actually hooked me up with a third one. So I was able to give away three machines to three people that need them. So I'm going to give out the names of at least the first names anyway, of the three winners tonight. They already know who they are. I contacted them earlier to let them know and get all the addresses and everything, to mail everything to. But I will announce the three winners on air anyway, just so everybody can hear them. And then I'm going to play my interview with Garyn tonight, so you're going to get a chance to hear about what the machine is, what it's for. It's going to be a very relaxed night, ladies and gentlemen, very solution-oriented. Nothing hardcore tonight. I didn't want to mix that in with me coming back from the, what happened and, mention Lulu's name and, get into it and take someone to the woodshed or anything like that. I'll be back on my A game come Monday, don't you worry. I got a slew of guests coming up this week. I'm doing a JFK broadcast this coming Wednesday, so I got a ton of things lined up. Back in the saddle after a few days off. We'll be right back. Going to giveaway, and I'm going to play the interview with Garyn Angel, CEO of MagicalButter.com. Go check it out. Back in one short minute. We are back. And I would be remiss, by the way, if if I brought up my baby Lulu and did not mention the fact that or did not throw out a thank you, I should say, to all the listeners and readers of Federal Jack and everything, and all the listeners of Down the Rabbit Hole here, because over the past few days, the messages and comments and emails and stuff I've gotten of condolences and support and love, just utterly amazing. So I wanted to throw out a big thank you to everybody, Twitter, Facebook, who's emailed me, everywhere where people have messaged me and, said, condolences and sent love or whatever. I just want to say a big thank you because I read all the messages, as did Mrs. Popeye. She's seen all the comments and everything else. I showed them to her, and it was helpful in a very rough time. And if any of you don't understand, I know some people could go, oh, well, it's just a pet, but actually the dog was more than a pet. She's also my service dog, and actually my wife's service dog, kind of adopted me and started looking after me, which normally service dogs don't do, but she kind of glued herself to my hip 8 years ago and wouldn't leave Daddy's side. So the dog was legally a human being, and she's eaten in restaurants with us and stuff like that. So just a little rough, and I know most people understand. I don't think most people are heartless a-holes. Anyway, I want to get into the giveaway really quick, and then I want to play my interview with Garyn, because I want you guys to understand, get a chance to know who he is, understand why I back the product and stuff like that, because he doesn't pay me to do this. I don't get any money. I mean, I do the radio show for free. The website's for free. I don't make any money. In fact, I actually paid out about $100 out of my own pocket in shipping just to mail the machines to the winners, because he sent them to me, and then I had to figure out who I was going to give them to, and we mailed them out and stuff. Or I went to the post office rather and mailed them out myself. I had to pay out of my pocket. I don't get paid for that stuff. So Garyn's not paying me to talk about him or to promote his machines or give them away and stuff. I do it because the machine was made to help people. It's a solution. You'll hear the guy's just very humble. He's a very down-to-earth human being. He's an all-around just good person. That's why I support him, because he's just a good human being. And I urge you, if you have issues or whatever, and you're taking a ton of pain medication, which a lot of people do, they take tons and tons of pain meds and stuff like that, try Magical Butter. It's $175. What do you pay for your pain meds, right? Save up. I know it's kind of expensive, but try it. Try it. Or at least look into it. Look into alternative medicines. See what you could do for yourself rather than waste tons of money on opiates that do nothing but harm your body anyway, right? So, anyway, let me get to here it is, the list of winners. I have a pile of papers on my desk here. All right, so the three winners I picked were, one was he is a disabled veteran. His name is Andrew. He's a disabled vet, and he's got severe pain. He's got a lot of issues from when he was in the service. He's had, in dealing with the VA, and he's, the only thing that they ever offer you over at the VA is opiates. I know that, and you have to turn them down. I mean, I don't like pills, so it's like, nope, don't want them. Some people might take them, but most people don't want to take that crap because of how it makes you feel. So, Andrew, the disabled veteran, he's one of the winners. Vin, up in New Jersey, he's got, I spoke to his girlfriend or fiance, and she was explaining how he's got severe back problems. He's had multiple back surgeries. He's got real bad spinal cord problems. Same thing. They want to put him on all sorts of opiates and stuff. That stuff just makes you worse. It makes you nauseous. None of those drugs work. And this thing's going to help him. It's going to make a huge difference in his life. So that's two people that it's going to make a huge difference in their life. And then third is Angela, who she's a chronic pain sufferer as well. She's got some other issues. And one of her biggest problems is the medicine that she's allowed to use. She cannot take, or she's having problems taking, because she's got severe asthma. And that is actually the same, you'll hear Garyn talk about it, that's the same condition or same problem that arose with one of his friends who ended up causing him to create the device to begin with. So 3 people whose lives will be drastically changed for the better: Vin, Andrew, and Angela. And I thank all the people who emailed and messaged me on YouTube with people's names and stuff, and gave me contact information. Vin's girlfriend, for instance, she reached out to me. Found me on Facebook, heard the video on YouTube, found me on Facebook, and reached out to me and told me his story. Andrew reached out to me via email, and so did Angela. Reached out to me via email. And there was, other people reached out to me via email as well. It's pretty hard to narrow it down. I got a good amount of submissions, so looking forward to doing this again sometime in the future. But right now, I don't have any more machines to give away, and I don't have the extra $100 laying around to ship them out. I actually didn't know it was going to cost that much, but I ended up having to. I ended up foregoing a few other things just to get them shipped out. But whatever, I'll take care of it in the future. It's not a big deal. I'm a man of my word, and I want to get the machines out. I'm glad honestly, it's the best $100 I ever spent, because I know I changed somebody's life for the better, and that's something that is priceless to me, honestly. And after the week I've had, I'm glad that I was able to bring some positivity into 3 people's lives. So, Vin, Andrew, and Angela, you are the winners of the MagicalButter.com giveaway. Thank you so much, everybody who emailed me. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, just because you didn't win it doesn't mean that you can't go pay it forward. If you know someone who's sick and could use this thing, go purchase one for them. Maybe a couple of you guys get together, and maybe 3 or 4 people divvy up the cost. It won't be that much money, and everybody could purchase it for that individual. And then everybody, hey, we take care of each other. Again, that's how we're going to heal the problems of this world and actually start to fix things. Is actually if we just start to take care of each other rather than rely on other people or some mystical force called the government, the superhero cape and all that nonsense. Okay. So it's just because you didn't win one doesn't mean you can't change someone's life for the better. Or just because your submission didn't win or whatever doesn't mean you can't change someone's life for the better with one of these machines. Okay, so check it out. What's the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I guarantee you, if it doesn't work, you can contact Garyn, the owner, and I guarantee you, I'm willing to bet you any amount of money that if you felt it didn't work and didn't help you, and you wanted to return it, he would return it. He would take the money back. I'm willing to bet. Because I'm going to say it wouldn't happen, but if it did, which I doubt it would ever happen. But if someone ever said, "Oh, it didn't work," blah 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 blah, I want my money back, I'm willing to bet he would do it. That's the kind of guy he is. You'll see. That's why I support him, because he's a stand-up guy. So those are the winners. Now on to the interview with Mr. Garyn Angel himself, the CEO of MagicalButter.com, because it's a little over an hour in length, and I want to be able to fit the whole thing in for you. So what I'm going to do is, just like I do with any other pre-recorded interview, I will play it and then bring it in and out of the breaks. And if we start to run out of time and I have to, I'll just pick it up coming in and out of the breaks. But we should have an ample amount of time. I measured it out, I think, properly. So let's get right to the interview with Mr. Garyn Angel, again, the CEO of MagicalButter.com. You're going to learn all about the device, the humble beginnings, and why I support this guy. And you're going to learn a little bit of information about what you can do and some of the things that people have been curing themselves, or at least treating themselves. I don't want to say curing. Let me take that back. Treating themselves is a better term. And like Garyn says, eat to treat. Eat to treat. Here we go. I want to bring up tonight's guest for you all and introduce him. He's the owner and CEO, founder, mechanical wizard, I should say, behind a company called Magical Butter, a company and a device called Magical Butter. Now, many of you who have been listening to the broadcast for a long time might have heard my interview with him about 6 months ago. But since we are on a new network and we have thousands of new listeners, I want to bring to the airwaves tonight founder and CEO of Magical Butter. You can go check out the website, magicalbutter.com. Mr. Garyn Angel. Garyn, welcome back.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Thanks. That was an over-the-top welcoming. I really appreciate it. And it's good to be back with you. I loved doing it with you last time. And, it was a lot of fun, and we got a lot of great feedback, both you and I. So it's exciting to be back on.
Yeah, speaking of feedback, right off the bat, I got to tell the listeners, since the last time Garyn was on, in between, I forget the date, but in between the last time Garyn was on and now, I've gotten feedback from listeners, older listeners, who did purchase the Magical Butter device. And Garyn, I told you this off air. In fact, I even posted one of the comments to the Facebook page the other day. Not one piece of feedback has ever been negative at all, ever. The listeners of Down the Rabbit Hole that purchased your device, and this isn't an infomercial. I'm just saying the people that had purchased the device, they did so for their own health benefit, and not one of them has ever given me a message or a comment or anything that's been any bit, even in the slightest, negative. Everything has been, wow, this thing changed my life. I told you a personal story that a friend of mine I know has one of your devices, and now they no longer need to use pain medication. They've completely cut it out of their life, and it's not like they do anything out of the ordinary. They just do what you said. They eat to treat. So, I mean, right off the bat, it's not a sales pitch, but wow, your device really is the real deal. That's why I support you the way I do, by the way, because I've seen the effects of what your people can do with just this simple device. And like you've said before, this should have been done a long time ago. And the fact that it wasn't left a big opening. And kudos to you for stepping up and changing your whole life and doing this. Because, I'm sure you've been told this before, Garyn, but you have changed people's lives for the better. So, kudos to you, sir.
Well, thanks, bud. Yeah, it's been honestly, if I were to use the word humbling, that would be an understatement. It's been, it's amazing. It's every day I wake up, I read emails, and, I'm kind of a softie at heart, so I tear up, and it's been exciting. And the feedback, all I can say is thank you to everybody for the support. It's been overwhelming. It's, a lot to take in, and it's hard to imagine that something that you create in your garage actually affects this many people's lives in a positive way. But it's also pretty damn American to realize that one single guy can still kind of come up with something that means something in the scope of society. And it's almost become a reality in my head at this point that's what we've done, is we've created something that's going to make a lot of people's lives better and more manageable.
Well, I know you've made, personally I know people, and then, I see the comments from my listeners, the emails I've gotten from people that have purchased it. One guy emailed me, he heard the broadcast like a month and a half, 2 months after I aired it, and he heard it on the YouTube rebroad. And he was like, oh, whatever, I'll try it. He's sick. And, positive feedback. It changed his life for the better, too. Again, now he doesn't feel like he's taking medicine anymore. He eats to treat. It's something so simple that, again, you stepped up to the plate. There was an opening, and you brought it to the forefront. And it should have been done a long time ago. Why nobody else had the courage or the foresight, or whatever you want to call it, to stand up and do this? But you really are. It's one of those cases where, it's synchronicity, man. The universe works in mysterious ways. It really does. I said this to you the last time we talked. It really, really works in mysterious ways. And sometimes you're picked for things. You don't even know why. You don't even, you know what I mean? It's like, I never thought I was going to be doing radio or anything like that. But hey, here I am. So the universe has an interesting way of kind of pushing us down certain paths. And you have changed people's lives for the better. So with that in mind, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause it right there because we got a break sneaking up on us. When we get back, what I'll do is I will pick it up right there, and he's going to get into the humble beginnings of where Magical Butter came from. And you'll hear him tell about the story, like I said, about one of his friends who had asthma and couldn't take his medicine. So stay tuned. We will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Let's get back into it. Here is Garyn about to get into the humble beginnings of where the Magical Butter device came from. I want to explain to the listeners a little bit the humble beginnings of Magical Butter. Now, I know we went over it in detail, and if anybody wants to, they can go. I urge you to go listen to the last interview I did with Garyn. But, in fact, when I post this up on YouTube or on the website on federaljack.com, I will put the link to the first interview I did with you, Garyn, in there, too, so they can go listen to that. But I want to go over the humble beginnings again, because it's important for people to understand that this is not like a George Foreman grill. You're not just trying to be Ron Popeil and his hair in a can. This is something that actually came about from you caring about someone that you're friends with, and you cared about them, and you used your brain power to try to make something that could help them, and it turned into what Magical Butter is. So I'll give you the floor. Go ahead and explain a little bit about the humble beginnings of Magical Butter.
Yeah, I had a friend with Crohn's disease and used various herbs to treat his ailment, and he got to the point where his asthma really got in the way of his treatments, so he was stuck and wound up in the hospital. So I tried to come up with a solution for him. I first designed some pans that would work on the grill. It was a new double boiler method, and it actually worked fairly well, but it wasn't good enough. So then I went back to the drawing board and I redesigned the crock pot. And eventually I ended up with my invention, which was the Magical Butter Machine. And it's an automated process of a botanical extractor. It's the first and only of its kind. And it's designed with thermal settings to extract the nutrients out of various botanical plants so that you can eat the treat. And a lot of the problem with the Western diet is we've eliminated plant matter from our diets. We're a steak and potatoes society in a salad and tomatoes world, if that makes any sense. So it's just a way for you to either A, modify your diet to eat healthier, or B, at least get the nutrients of the botanical plants that matter for you back into your body and continue your same dietary pattern, but with some of the nutrients of different plant matter. So that's really what we've done with it, and the results have been astounding. It's, as I said before, I keep using the word humbling only because that's the only word I have, because I really didn't think that it would work as well as it does when I started it. And now that we've had a chance to really put some money into it and make it spectacular, the thing's just flat out awesome. So it works well, and the feedback and the results I tear up almost every morning when I read my emails. It's a cool thing. That's all I can say is it's something that I've never experienced before, and I hope to experience for the rest of my life is those same emails every day.
It's been about 6 months now since you guys launched, 6-7 months around there?
November 7th was our launch date, if I were to look back on it. So if I were to sum it up, it's been a lot of fun, so it feels like 6 days, but so much has happened that it feels like 6 years.
And in that time period, you guys have definitely grown. I mean, the device actually has, there's how many versions of it did you guys go through before you came to the version you're at now?
I probably had 20 different prototype designs before I got to this. I spent about 2.5 years developing it before I brought it to market, because I didn't want to bring it to market till it was something that I would buy and something that I would be proud that I bought. I didn't do this as a way for me to feed my family. I did it because I wanted to make a device that was awesome. And so we took our time doing it, and we made sure that we had a finalized product. And then when I brought it to market, I've made a couple changes. That was the release of the MB2, which was our second version of it. And at this point, I'm going to continue to work towards making it the most complete kitchen appliance that anybody's ever purchased. That's kind of what my goal is. My goal is to make this thing so it's a household name and that everybody has one, because you can make everything from teas to soups to butters to oils to tinctures to, you pretty much name it. You can make it with my machine, and and it makes...
I'm going to pause it right there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Nice long segment. Let's get back into it with Garyn Angel.
For the most part, it makes it better than the competing products in the industry. You know, it makes it better than a crockpot would, better than a double boiler would. So I really want to get into everybody's kitchen and be their staple appliance for a lot of low heat cooking. That's the niche that I want to carve out. And we have some things in the pipe that I think are going to be pretty cool as they roll out.
And when it comes to MB2, which is Magical Butter 2, the second operational variant that you guys have released, what exactly are the different functions of it? Like if someone wants, because that's the one that if people go to magicalbutter.com right now and purchase, that's the version they're going to get is MB2. What exactly does it do? What are the functions? Go ahead and just lay it out for the listener.
Sure. The MB1 was a good machine, and it was very simple to use. It had 5 buttons on top, and you simply hit the button, and it went into the cycle. What I discovered is when I went to mass production that some people wanted to have some more choices. So the MB2 has 4 different selectable temperature settings, 160, 190, 220, and 250. It also has something called decarb oxidation built into it, which anytime you're cooking with herbs, you typically want to decarb oxidate any of your herbs. And so we do it now inside the machine, which brings it up to the temperatures for the maximum nutrient extraction, which when you're working with a botanical extractor, which is what we've built, it's important that the temperatures, the most important thing is the temperatures, the stirring, the controlled nature of the machine. And we have it dialed into a point where it's absolutely awesome. I mean, it just works great. It's been the MB2 versus the MB1. The MB1 was a great product. And literally, I would say that the average company would have been very satisfied. I'm a perfectionist, so when I saw little flaws, I just kept creating and until I got all the elements of it correct, I kept innovating, and we've got it where the thing is just, in my mind, it's just awesome. I love it. And like you were saying earlier about the positive feedback, all we've ever had is positive feedback. I've yet to have somebody buy my product and say, you know what, this thing's junk or garbage or doesn't work as advertised, or that hasn't been the case. I mean, it's been a home run, which is kind of nuts because we were kind of going for a ground rule double or single or based on, I wasn't, we built a quality product out of the gate, but I never envisioned that it would be perceived as well as it is and really help as many people as it has in such a short amount of time. We actually probably, sometime over the weekend here, we'll probably surpass, actually it looks like probably tomorrow, we'll surpass 35,000 Facebook fans in basically 6 months and 2 days.
That's actually a big deal for people that don't realize that it takes for a Facebook page to get that many followers. I mean, you'd have to be financed. You'd have to be paying to advertise your stuff. And I'm willing to bet that most of that is word of mouth, Garyn.
Oh, without a doubt. You can look at our growth rate as we've rolled out or month over month. I mean, I looked at it last month. We had 21,000 fans last month. Just to kind of put that in perspective or something like that. It was, we had almost a 50% month over month growth rate in our followers. I mean, it's, you can just tell by the phone calls, by the interaction amongst friends that when I go out or, you can just tell it works and the word's out and it's humbling. I mean, I can't use a different word to describe it because it's not, all I can say is thank you to everybody who's helped spread the word because I'm eternally grateful for everything you've done to help, spread the message and help my company. And also the whole goal is to help the person who buys my product. I had a conversation with a friend somebody who's become a friend of mine at this point, was a customer, but, and at the end of it, we had a shipping issue with them. and it wasn't good. I mean, we dropped the ball. We screwed up. And it was when we were changing over servers, and it was our fault. And the guy was insanely hot and heated, and, we talked. I was like, look, you know what? Let's not go back and forth through emails. Let's get on the phone, and let's make sure we turn a negative experience into a positive one. We talked on the phone, and, at the end of it, he's like, you know what? All you care about is making people happy. And I was like, if I were to sum it up, yeah, that's kind of it. I just want people to have a good life. People to wake up and smile and have fun and realize that everybody has problems in their life, but be able to deal with them. And that's kind of been our basis, and people get it. It's kind of like the feedback that we get is people are like, you know what? Life's not terrible. We can deal with just about anything, and we're off of pills, and we have our mind back, and it's awesome. I mean, I can't say it in another word. It's an awesome, killer, amazing feeling to know that that's what's happening.
I kind of stumbled upon you and your device quite by accident. I found, because a friend of mine had entered one of your giveaway contests back in around Christmas time, and on Christmas Eve I posted a picture, and you had picked the picture as a winner. The contest was whatever picture got the most likes, and there was one person that had more likes, but you hadn't seen that photo, and they pointed it out, and they were kind of pissed off. And instead of being an a-hole about it, you said, you know what, it's not a big deal, it's Christmas Eve, I'll just give out 2 machines, problem solved. And that was it. And I was like, okay, I have to get this guy on the radio show. As soon as I saw you say that, I was like, wow. Because you don't ever see an owner of a company do that. Ever. I would have expected more of an argument to ensue between either you and him or you and me. And it was like, nah, don't worry about it. Done. And I was like, wow. This guy's... Wow, he's cut from a different piece of cloth. I have to talk to him. And then I got a chance to talk to you, and I was like, yeah, dude, I definitely want you to come on the radio show because, I mean, you're not like a regular company owner. You're one of these small business owners that's doing something for the right reasons, and I admire that, and people need to see that, and that's why you're growing so fast. That's why you have that word of mouth.
Have to agree with you. I mean, I think that people get the fact that, I mean, literally at this point, it's kind of funny because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, I have some tears in my eyes right now as I say this. We're 6 months and a day old, and we're not a little company anymore. I mean, and I came from I owned a very successful business before this that I actually have just recently sold because I didn't have time to do both. And so I made a big commitment for myself and my family that this was going to be the direction that I went for the rest of my life. And because I owned my other business for 17 years. So to walk away from that, and literally it was a very good provider. I mean, I can't even say very, I had a dream job for all intents and purposes at the firm that I started before this. And this, it's so rewarding. It's so nice to wake up and know that people love what you're doing. I mean, there's not many jobs that literally you go to work and people say thank you all day. I mean, it's just, and you're selling them something. I'm selling them a product and they're saying thank you. It's a funky, and all I can say back is thank you for thanking me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I think we have something magical here, and I know that's cliche because our name, but there's a reason why our name is what it is because when I discovered it, that's kind of what I felt. As I was like, wow, I have something that's going to change people's lives. And that's what we've done. It's humbling. That's all I have. And all I can say is thank you to everybody who's bought our products. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the followers on Facebook. Thank you for giving me the time on your air. Thank you to all the people that have made this a possibility. And that's what I got is thank you. I mean, without all the help and all the pieces and the wind blowing in the right direction and, the sun rising when it did and the breeze being like it did, it's just been it's been something that was a destiny, not an accident, because there's no way that this many people have come forward and helped us this much without it being the destiny of what was supposed to happen. I mean, I know that may sound cheesy to some people, but you know what? Sometimes in life, things just, you feel it, you know it, and you do it. And I had a gut instinct, and it worked. I was told 1,000 times why it wouldn't work, and at the end of the day, the response has been way more than I had ever performed with, if that's a good example coming from a money management background.
It's amazing just to see the growth of the company over such a short period of time. And it's a testament to the power of the device and what it's actually capable of, helping people out, and that it's not some, Johnny-come-lately type thing, not some fly-by-night type of piece of garbage that you'd maybe buy on QVC, but this is actually a quality product, and it actually is helping change people's lives. That's pretty awesome. And I know that you give away a lot of these things to charities too, which is very admirable. Ladies and gentlemen, when he unleashed the Magical Butter 2, Garyn had a program where he was getting the older ones. If anybody had an old MB1 and they wanted an MB2, you could send the other one back, and it was like $50 or $75 or something like that, and he swapped it out for an MB2. And the older ones he's given away to charities for I think it was Crohn's disease or MS charities that you were. I think it was Crohn's disease charities you gave them away to, right? It's
been very difficult to find, and I sent numerous emails. I went through a bunch of industry contacts, and unfortunately, as the world is, I have a crock pot on steroids or whatever we want to call it. None of the charities would take them. So what a lot of them wound up doing was going to people that I knew that medically were suffering, and that's the way I made the impact with them. I've contacted so many national organizations, and I don't know if it's we're too new or we're too edgy or, whatever it is, but I just don't get a response. And so, I don't want them to sit on the shelf. I don't need them. And what I did, I'm going to explain that MB2 program a little bit, just because I think it's important for people to realize kind of the way I'm trying to run my company. What happened was I came out with the first version of it, and as a businessman, we had a sizable order, a very sizable order, and we sold out in our first 2 months. 2 months to the day after we launched, I sold out of it, and then we were out of stock for 2 months and 8 days before the MB2 launched. And it's a better machine. And so since it was a better machine, I said, you know what, I'm going to give people a 30-day window, and if they'd like, I'm going to let them upgrade for my cost. And I actually lose $20 per unit that we sold, but I feel good about it because those first people proved my business model, and they were the early adopters, and they shouldn't be penalized for the fact that, they were my first customers. They should be rewarded. So there was a $25 price increase, and for $50, they went from the old machine to the new machine, and then their old machine was given away to help people. So basically, it cost them $25. It cost me $25, and we got to help other people. And that's what I want to do in life. Is I want to go to my grave and people to say, you know what? He helped a lot more people than he hurt in this world.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause it right there. Be back in a few seconds. Don't go anywhere. More with Garyn Angel, CEO of MagicalButter.com. Go check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Let's pick it up right where we left off with my interview with Garyn Angel, CEO of MagicalButter.com. Go check out the website, check out the device. I'm telling you, it really works. Otherwise, I would not support him. I wouldn't be doing this. You know how I am, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get paid to talk about this kind of stuff. So if I support something like this, there's got to be something to it. Trust me, there is. Here we go.
And my kids, my family, everybody can look at it and say, you know what, that was my dad. That's what we want to do.
Well, they'll definitely be able to say that because you definitely are helping people the number one question I got in response to our last interview is what exactly is the butter that it makes? And I've tried to explain the way you explained it to me, but I think you're a little bit better at explaining it. So I know it makes ghee butter, but what exactly is ghee butter?
Yeah, I mean, basically, essentially what it does is it makes a purer form of butter, a ghee butter, a clarified butter, whatever we want to call it. What happens is as you're cooking, when you bring it up to 160 degrees, 170 degrees, there's water in butter. And so what's going to happen, and one of the things that really makes my product unique over a crock pot, when you have a crock pot, your house is going to stink anytime you're cooking with anything. It's going to smell like whatever you're making. My machine is designed to allow the vapors or the steam to escape, which crock pot does not, but to keep the smell inside. So what happens is when you're cooking, let's say you start with 4 cups of butter. You may only wind up with 3 cups of butter. And people say to me all the time, well, why did I lose a cup of butter? It's not that you lost a cup of butter. It's that you lost a cup of water. And water can attract no nutrients at all because there's no molecules there for it to collect any of the benefits of your different botanical plant matter. So you wind up with the most potent possible batch with no smell and the best taste because a crock pot allows the steam to go up. It runs up the glass lid, and then it drips back down into your plant matter or your cooking medium. So you're always going to have a planty taste. Mine is going to taste nuttier, and it's also going to be more potent because there's not as much water in it. So essentially what happens is, back to the original question, I know I kind of gave the home run on a intentional walk, but I wanted to explain it in good detail for everybody exactly what it does and how it does it. So there's rubber grommets around the top of the machine that allow that vapor to escape. So that's the water cooking out of it. And I know it freaks some people out. They're like, oh, I got to push this lid on harder or something. You can't push it down any harder because there's rubber grommets there to allow that gap. Because what happens is steam comes up and it rises and it rises and then it escapes out the top. So and all that is water vapors. So it's essentially has no fragrance to it. And what you're left with is a pure version of fat molecules in your butter or your oils, or your alcohols, whatever it is we're cooking. And that's what you want to extract into. So that's why it's literally the best botanical extractor. It's the only botanical extractor that's ever been designed, engineered, patented, anything. But literally with the design of it, that's why I think that it'll be around forever. I think that, my kids will still be managing. It's my hope and dream that they're still managing Magical Butter just because the engineering of it's so precise and so awesome.
Well, I've seen the machine myself. It's quite impressive. And it does work. Again, I know people that use it. I've gotten testimonies from it. It is a quality piece of machinery. It really is. I have to, give you credit. You didn't put something out there that's half-assed. You actually put out a quality product, and you stand by it. And again, that's why you have so many people that are, word of mouth. Hey, go check out Magical Butter. Check out magicalbutter.com. I've told people on air. I've had a banner up for your website for months on Federal Jack on my website. And you know what? I see it sends hits to you every day. I see them. I know I see the stat reports multiple times during the course of the day. That's awesome. And no, Garyn did not pay me to ever bring him on or talk about his device or put a banner up on my site. I did it because I respect him for doing what he's doing. I know the device works. See, I'm realistic. I will tell my listeners, I think if they're going to spend their money on something, they should spend their money on something that A, will help them and be beneficial to their health. And then it backs up the good people like you. Instead of a big scumbag corporation wasting their money on some garbage that's not going to help them anyway, you put it to good use. You do something that'll help your system, help your body, and you can cook with a lot of different mediums. It's not just it's not It's not just for one thing. You can do a lot of different things with it. Again, you can not only... All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause it right there. We're going to the top of the hour break. Have no fear, we still have hour number 2. We'll be right back in exactly one short, quick minute. When we come back, we'll pick it up with my interview with Garyn Angel, CEO of MagicalButter.com. Go check out the device. Change your health for the better and get off the big pharma meds. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with hour number 2 here on tonight's live edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Popeye from FederalJack.com. It is May 31st, 2013. That's right, I am back live tonight. And I want to get back into my interview with CEO Garyn Angel, the CEO of MagicalButter.com, the creator, I should say. I use the term CEO, I keep throwing it out there, but I should say the creator of Magical Butter, the magic mind behind the device, which is actually changing people's lives for the better. The guy's just a humble, all-around, awesome individual. If you haven't gotten a chance to, go back and listen to hour number 1 in the archives. But I digress. For time's sake, I want to get right back into it. Even though the first segment is a quick, short segment, I want to get as much of the interview as I can on air. So here we go. Picking it up right where we left off with hour number 1. Can you make butter with it, but you can make oil, you can make tinctures. Now you can make tea with it too?
Yeah, teas. I mean, I have so much stuff that we're working on right now. It's insane. Literally, I mean...
You have any more products coming out in the future, like down the like next on the list in the Magical Butter product line? Or
I am going to make... Here's what I've done is I have figured out what's wrong with large companies. Over 50 cents or $1, they'll use cheap parts instead of quality parts. I'm going to make just absolutely awesome products. And I think that we're going to sell the living snot out of them because everything that we make is going to be of extreme quality. And I only learned this because of the way that I had to go about making my existing product. And so, yeah, if I were to say, no, I don't have more products in the works, I'd definitely be lying to you. I have some stuff in the works that is just awesome. And my next venture, if you will, is going to be for vegetation and to make it so people can grow organic gardens at home of tomatoes and peppers and, you know, your basils, your cilantros, your everything with no maintenance and no bugs, no worries, and no GMOs, no, you know, literally you can make your own organic garden and do it the right way without any work. And that's what I'm finalizing the pieces on now. It's awesome. It's exciting. It's magical. You know, I mean, it really is. I mean, you know, I have I grow my own cilantros and basils now, and we get caterpillars and have to deal with all the rest of it. I don't want to have to do that anymore. So we've come up with a really good way to organically grow stuff that's just going to be awesome.
You don't have... I'm going to pause it right there, ladies and gentlemen, because we're coming up to the break. But coming back, when we come back in, I'm just going to pick it up right where we're leaving it off. So don't go anywhere, don't change the channel, don't turn the dial, to be cliche. We'll be right back. To blow the lid on it, but it almost sounds like an indoor hydroponic system or something that you won't have to worry about dealing with caterpillars or something, or any type of pests attacking your food, because that's actually the worst, is when you're trying to grow nice, clean, organic food. You don't want to spray pesticide on it, and then you have to, not only do you have to deal with worrying about contaminating the soil in any way, now you have to deal with the bugs because you won't spray garbage on it. So that's cool. You don't have to blow the lid on it, but I can guarantee you it'll probably be amazing like your other device.
Oh, I mean, honestly, it's going to be insane. Literally, I mean, we're an eat to treat kind of company. That's our slogan, our tagline. That's what we run with. And there's something to be said if you grow something on your own. If you grow a beautiful tomato, you're probably going to eat more tomatoes. If you grow beautiful onions and grapefruits and so that's kind of what we want to do is we're going to get it to the point where people can make their own food. They know what they're eating. They know, every single thing there is to know about that plant. And then they can go ahead and use our machines and make great, healthy recipes. And I know this sounds crazy, and people thought I was crazy when I told them 3 years ago what I was making with Magical Butter. But literally, I mean, it's a way for people to take back control of their diet and have fun doing it and do it effortlessly. And, when you can grow your own fruits and vegetables, you're going to eat more of them. It's just what's going to happen. And part of the problem is the stuff's just too expensive to buy in the store now. And then the stuff you buy in the store, unfortunately, is, genetically modified to the point where a lot of the nutritional values are gone. So, I think we've got some killer products in the works. And if my vision is anywhere near as good as it was on this one, I think it's going to be perceived well. And, it's fun. I mean, I think people are really going to get behind it's kind of a Whole Foods kind of approach on an affordable scale where anybody can do it and they can have fun doing it.
Do you guys have any swag like T-shirts or hats or bumper stickers or anything?
Oh, absolutely. We have men's shirts, we have men's hats, and we have ladies' tank tops. Over the summer here, we're going to be rolling out women's swimsuits and men's board shorts. I'm a native Floridian who's a saltwater kind of guy, so I'm building stuff that's comfortable and that it's relaxed wear. It's clothing that makes you feel good, clothing that's fun, clothing that starts a conversation, and clothing that's comfortable and high quality. So I think that we're going to have a really good run with that. So far, the response to what we've done with our clothes has been insane. I've posted a bunch of the pictures of our current designs on Facebook in a I don't know, Magical Butter swag album or something along those lines. But it's really great stuff. It's it's stuff that I would buy and wear, and that's what I'm trying to design. Is everything as if I were the consumer. What would you go and buy? What would you go and wear? And even like with our clothes, I haven't done it until we've done several different runs now, but until I found the right material and the right print style, and I didn't want to unleash it. So we're just trying to do everything so it's high quality. The consumer loves what we do, and you get faithful brand awareness that way, and you get customers for life. I don't want somebody to buy one product from me. I want somebody to say, you know what, they have another product and their last ones were so awesome that we want to buy this one too. And that's our goal.
In response to the machine over the past 6 months, the testimonials, the things I talked about earlier, the comments I've gotten, what have you heard that people have been able to use the machine to treat? Like, what symptoms have people said, hey, because of your machine, I used to take, morphine. I used to take 30 milligrams of morphine a day, and now I don't have to take any. Do you ever receive things like that? And if so, what are they saying they're able to treat with it?
Yeah, no, that's actually what makes my life so much fun is those emails and the feedback that I've gotten from everybody. And it's been wide and far. It's, the biggest thing and the most important thing for me is probably people getting off of pain pills, just because I think that they're very destructive. Unfortunately, in my family, I had somebody who had a battle with Oxycontins, and I just think that it's a nasty thing, and once you get on it, it's very difficult to get off of it. And so I guess the biggest and most important thing for me would be the people that have been able to get themselves off of the pain medicines and get themselves onto, natural remedies for their pain instead, and eating to treat rather than taking, highly addictive synthetic pills and synthetic heroin. It's just, I'm not into that stuff. I think it's horrendous for you. So that's been probably the most rewarding for me is reading about people who are, wow, I have been on oxys for a year or 2 years or 5 years, and I haven't been able to manage my pain without it. And and I'm not picking on Oxycontins, but it's the most prevalent in my discussions, so that's the only reason why I say it. But yeah, so that part's been great. Multiple sclerosis is MS is another big one that I get an email on daily. Fibromyalgia I get daily. I've only had one of these so far because I really didn't know a whole lot about it. But I had a customer who had epileptic seizures, who is now not only seizure free, they are medicine and pain and pill free. They are 100% natural in treating their epileptic seizures, and this is their first time in 4 years that they've been able to go for over 30 days without having a seizure. And if you want to talk about something that feels good, open that email up. So it's just, from MS to arthritis, we have some salves and balms that we make with the MB2 now that people have been able to treat their arthritis, their back pain, their migraines. And I'm not saying that my machine's a cure-all, but people are using it to treat such a wide range of ailments that you kind of feel like it's a cure-all. And, I know some people think that's hokey and whatever, and I don't really care. What I care about is that people use it and it works. I don't care why it works. I don't care how it works to me. I'm the type of person that 2 + 2 = 4. And if it works for them, God bless them. I'm happy it does. And it just makes me feel great that I was behind something that helps them. I mean, it's an awesome feeling. And people are so eternally grateful. If you can give them a way to fix their health, that's the only thing in life that money can't buy. And what people write to me is it's astonishing. It's just, again, humbling. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thanks for believing in my product. Thanks for stepping out on a limb and trying something different. Thanks for spreading the word. Just thank you for everything that you guys have done to make it a success. I know I gave you, a few of the MB1s for yourself and for you to give away on the radio. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to do that same thing with you for the MB2. And I want to get that in your hands. And I know you were beyond awesome with the last ones that we gave, and you even gave the one that I gave to you away, which if you do that this time, I'll be mad at you. So I'll send you an extra one just to make sure that you keep one for yourself, because that's important. You work hard and you deserve to have some stuff for yourself as well. But I want to give it to you. You use it. You go ahead and, give it out to some more of your users, get some more feedback from them. And rather than having me give you the sales pitch or, the infomercial on it, I'd rather have you experience it on your own. I think it's important. I know the thing works awesome, and I'm not afraid to give them away. And I'm especially not afraid to give them away to people with a voice, because that's what's gotten us this far. Is people like you and I just want to take a moment and say thank you for all you've done for us. I know that, this takes a lot of time out of your day and a lot of effort for you to do this, not only for myself, but for your listeners. And I really appreciate it. Thank you. And so, to the listeners that are listening, thank you guys for listening. And, he's going to have some machines to give to you guys, and in whatever manner, capacity he deems fit. And he'll be able to give you some more information on it because he'll have one for himself that, he can use and go from there. And that's, I think, the best way for the message to continue. It's
humbling to be able to talk to somebody who's like, you know what, dude, give these away. There's people that need them. It really is. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass when I say that either, because I know it costs money to give away your devices, but how in this world of constant negativity, you always see like CEOs getting arrested, right, for giving themselves bonuses, or not getting arrested for giving themselves bonuses in the case of Wall Street. And you see they always, like, corporations and owners of companies just have that, it's got that, I think, a negative stigma if you own something, if you're in charge. And you really force people to look at that whole label or that stigma, whatever. You force them to look at it in a different light, because you do things that the typical company owner or business owner wouldn't do. So thank you so much, man. I mean, it's very awesome of you to be able to even want to do that.
Well, thank you. I've always had a feeling in life that if you take care of your customers, everything else takes care of itself. I mean, my CFO kills me all the time because all the silly things I'm constantly doing. But at the same token, whether you're religious, not religious, that doesn't play into this. This is the truth. When you give, you do get back a whole lot more than you give in life. And I have a friend of mine who I've kind of taken under my wing here lately who, as a kid, he got in a lot of trouble in life, and, he's not from the wealthiest family, but he's just a good person. And I've tried to teach him. I'm like, look, everywhere you go, try to make somebody happy. Try to make somebody smile. Try to make their day. And he's been doing that, and things are starting to finally go right for him in life. He's like, you know what? And, he owns a small company, and he was struggling. He's like, since I've changed my attitude on life, about everybody who was trying to screw me and this and that, he's like, stuff just keeps working. Stuff's falling in place. And I'm like, that's the trick to life. When you pay it forward, because you focus on the positives in life instead of the negatives. And people see it, and they want to be around it. And so that's kind of been my philosophy is, you know what? Be giving, treat people right, and try to make sure that the majority of people have nothing but great things to say about you. You can't please everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've had people who have pushed me to a limit where I've just said no, but at the same token, with a lot of reasonable requests, I've stretched the envelope beyond where, I normally would, just because for some reason I think that it comes back and works well for me, and it does. I mean, so it's kind of the pay it forward mentality, and it works. And when people start to buy into it and believe it, the world is just a better place.
The website, I want to cover that really quick. I want to, because I know we have a few minutes left here in the interview, and I want to focus on the website a little bit. It's more than just a place to go buy the machine. They can also go there, and there's a bunch of other things there. Right? I know I haven't been there, in a few weeks because I've been slightly busy with the transition to the new radio network myself. But I know back the last time I was there, you guys were adding some new stuff, and there was at least. I'm going to pause it right there, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, I'm going to pick it up right where I'm leaving off. In fact, I'll rewind it about 2 or 3 seconds. Don't go anywhere. More with Garyn Angel of magicalbutter.com when we get back. Go check it out. Well, I haven't been there, in a few weeks because I've been slightly busy with the transition to the new radio network myself. But I know back the last time I was there, you guys were adding some new stuff, and there was at least a recipe type section where users of MB1 and MB2 were emailing you or messaging you, however they were, sending you photos and stuff, and giving you recipes for different things. And then I know you were getting some information about like the different uses that people were, I made this and this is what I used to, I treated this ailment with it. Where has it gone from there?
The recipe section of our website, unfortunately, we haven't been able to develop too much further than the initial spot, only due to a lack of time. I actually, this past week on Monday, we had executive chefs start to work with us on a daily basis to create recipes that we could continually upload. So I think we'll probably be adding anywhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 recipes a week to our website from this point forward. Now, that being said, the other thing that we are in development of, and I'm working out the logistics of how to make this happen, is we own another website which is going to be strictly for Magical Butter recipes and Magical Butter customers, where they can go and they can place all their creations. It's going to be user moderated, almost like a Wikipedia. And people can put their ailments in there and what level it is. And it's just going to be a big community for people to share their success stories and their creations. And hopefully, my idea behind it is this, is the cures are out there to these ailments. You know, I'm a firm believer that everything on this earth has a cure, and the cure is already on this earth. And I know that might sound hokey to some people and all the rest of it, but if you actually look at medicines, for the most part, they're simply botanical extractions anyway. So if you could eat those botanical extractions on a daily basis of rose petals and you know, basil and parsley and mint and chives and cilantro and whatever it is, you know, but if you could get those in your diet on a daily basis, and those things would help prevent, for example, a prostate cancer or a breast cancer or whatever it may be. What's going to happen is, as you incorporate those extractions into your daily diet, the odds of you getting any of those ailments that you might have been prone to, that your mother might have got or your grandfather might have had, decrease exponentially. And so your quality of life is going to go up, and it's going to go up realistically without you having to change much in your diet. And what I found personally is, as I change my diet, I've become healthier, I have more muscle mass, I have more energy, and I don't get sick anymore. And so that's kind of what I want to do, is just, I think that if we did this, we could stop a lot of the MRSAs and the staph infections, because those really are products of our own demise, because we just keep treating it with stronger and stronger drugs, and then those strains just keep getting stronger and stronger. If we could eliminate them by simply becoming healthier in our own habits, you know, and our own immune systems being stronger, that's what I think you know, that's healthcare, okay? Pills and medications aren't healthcare. Those are treatment options. Healthcare is what you eat. And so that's what we're going to focus on going forward. And not that we've been lax in it, because none of us have had a break in this company at all. I mean, it's, you know, anywhere between 12 and 18 hours a day for each and every one of us. And I want to take 2 seconds and say thank you to the MB team, because literally, if I were to say people have my back, that would be an understatement. These people have bent over backwards to make sure that we're a success on a daily basis. And when I screw up, they're there to pick me up. And when they screw up, I'm there to pick them up. And I'm not going to tell you we're perfect. We're not. We've made our mistakes. But I am going to tell you is, when we've made mistakes, we've tried to make them right with people. And for the most part, everybody's been beyond understanding. And, you know, it's kind of awesome. You know, a lot of people just start with the same attitude that, you know, I might have if I was going after a company originally, if there was a mistake. And when we get on the phone with them, we say, hey, look, you know what? We screwed up, guy, but we're going to make it right with you. People are just like, what? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll acknowledge, you know, you're...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will pause it right there. Again, I will pick it up right where we're leaving off, coming back in on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Label didn't get printed, or it got shipped to the wrong, you know, I mean, look, logistically, I'd never owned a company like this before. We screwed up here and there. We did. I'm also going to tell you that I spent countless hours to make sure that our systems are absolutely awesome now. And when I say they're awesome, there's almost zero room for error anymore, because it's just so automated and so dialed in and so technologically advanced. We are running a streamlined company like I wouldn't have thought we would have been. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, it's fun. I mean, when stuff starts working and stuff starts clicking, and you're just on the same page with everybody. And so, I know this got a little drawn out, but I went through kind of a lot. I went through, my apologies for any scripts we've had. I know everybody's been taken care of and I know everybody's happy, but I still want to say sorry. I also want to say thank you to you for allowing us to come on the show again. It's been a blast. I always love talking to you. I consider you a great friend at this point, and your support of us is awesome, and thank you. And I want to support you back. I want to give you some machines for yourself and for your fans, and I'm going to keep everybody updated on the website. My hope is to roll that out sometime over the summer. That's somewhere July, August. I'd like to have that up running and we have everybody's email addresses who's purchased from us so far to this point. So we'll be sending out an email blast telling everybody it's live, and, kind of relying on everybody to moderate the site and, keep it fresh and keep it accurate, make sure that nobody's posting things they shouldn't be posting, and that it's only for the betterment of mankind. And that's, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do.
That's really cool. I didn't even realize you guys were going in that direction, almost like a wiki butter, if you will.
That's exactly what we are headed towards.
Garyn, in the past, I know you had plans to create an affiliate program where people could help get the device out, get the word out and help literally sell it, kind of like Amazon or other companies have affiliate programs. Did you ever get that underway? Where have you guys done anything with that? Where is that?
Yeah, we have. We're just launching it right now, and it's at Magical, MAGICAL, butter, BUTTER.com/affiliates. So just magicalbutter.com affiliates. And we have an affiliate program where people can just put a banner up on their site, and they'll be able to sell Magical Butter units and get compensated for it by simply referring us, customers. And the neat thing about our product is when somebody comes to your site and they click on our banner, realistically, I haven't had any negative feedback yet. And we've been in business and sold enough of them by this point that if we had issues with our machines or somebody was unhappy with something, so your customers who go to your site are going to get a value experience, and it helps build your website by trust, and it helps build our company by you helping us, and you get commissioned for it. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. So that's our program. It's magicalbutter.com affiliates. You get paid $20 per unit that's sold from your site. It's paid through PayPal, so it's instantaneous. I think it pays out to you every $100, and you get $20 per unit. So yeah, if you want to sign up, you can also call us at 800-420-4334, and we can walk you through it. But that's our setup.
And I suggest people, if you have a website, I suggest you do it. I mean, look, if you use Magical Butter for whatever reason, however you use it, and you use the device, why not, you're going to want to get it out to others, right? So why not put it on your website if you have one? And it's not like you're giving out the banner space for free, because every time a machine gets sold, you make a little bit for your effort and for your trouble. And you're helping spread the word. You're helping people get a machine to help themselves. You're helping Garyn and the business grow. So it's a win-win-win situation for everybody.
Thank you again for your overwhelming support. You've been unbelievable as a friend and as a person that gets what we're doing. It's really awesome to have people like you who see a company like us as a startup and take us under your wing and help us grow our business by spreading our message. And you've done it all for free. You've done it all as a friend, and you've done it all because you believed in us. And I just really I thank you, because it's not often that you run into somebody who do what you've done for us, without expecting something. And I appreciate it. You're a good man, and I love everything you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Garyn. I totally wasn't expecting that. Yeah, there's no reason not to support you. I mean, as soon as I realized the type of individual you were and the character or the makeup of your character, that I realized that you were somebody I could support. And when I saw the machine that I had won in the contest myself, I'm a tech guy. I'm a mechanic by trade. When I was a kid, I used to take apart my Tonka toys when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Just to see how they operated, and then I would put it back together. So, I didn't do that with the machine, but I looked at it, and I have a respect and an understanding, for mechanical engineering. And I was like, wow, this thing's really quality. It's not garbage. I mean, the owner of the company seems to be a really good guy from what I could guess from just talking to you and, gauging from the conversation I had with you. I was like, you know what? There's no reason not to, back him and give him my support. And that's why I put it out there. And I constantly tell people when I say it on air that you have not paid me. And, I mean, you haven't paid me 1 red cent to talk about you or advertise Magical Butter. You even just said it yourself. I do it because I believe in you and I believe in your product, and I know it's helped people. So why not get people? I'd rather have people buy something that helps them, and I would support that wholeheartedly. And I'm not a materialistic type of person, so I'm not really big into, it'd be nice to have tons of money, but I don't really need that. I grew up with not a ton of money, so it is what it is. I support people just because they deserve it. I didn't want to say to you, you should pay me for no. Screw that. You were starting a company from scratch, doing something good, and to me, that was good enough. And you deserve it, man. You deserve all the accolades you get, all the praise you get. You guys really deserve it. You and your whole crew. You guys are doing, like, anybody that does what you guys are doing, for the reasons you're doing it because you want to help people. And you like you said, you couldn't find any charity, so you went and gave the machines away to sick people. When was the last time you saw a CEO do that? Never. So you're setting the bar, dude. You're setting the example. So kudos to you as well. I mean, my hat's off to you. You have nothing but my utmost respect. And yeah, I consider you a friend as well, Garyn. Definitely, you're cut from a different piece of cloth than most people. And again, my hat's off to you. You total respect, 110%.
Thanks, buddy. It's been awesome again, and I look forward to doing it again. I'm going to get you that machine for yourself and some for some of your listeners. And then when you get it, if you have any questions, give me a call, and let's do it again before too long. It's always fun talking to you.
Yeah, talking to you as well. It's always a pleasure to have you on the broadcast, and I could pick your brain for hours on end, but I know that you have to go. So thank you so much, man, for giving me the time tonight and coming on. And thank you so much again for everything that you do, man. I know wholeheartedly you really are a good person and a good human being. And again, that's why I support you, my friend. Stay safe, and I look forward to you coming on again.
Thanks so much, bud. It's always a pleasure. It's always awesome. And, it's been a fun ride, and I have you to thank for a reasonable portion of it. I really thank you for all you've done for us. And, I look forward to a long and fun and rewarding relationship for everybody that's involved. I think that when you win in life is when everybody can walk away from a situation and say, you know what, my life's a little better because of blank. And that's what we're trying to do is, as a group, we're just trying to get to that point. So thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to spread the message. Thank you for spreading the message. And thank you to your fans for taking the time to listen.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my full latest interview with Garyn Angel, CEO and inventor of Magical Butter, the device, and the company magicalbutter.com. You need to go check out the website. You need to go check out the device itself. Look, you know what? Again, I've seen this thing literally change people's lives over the course of the past 6 months. So if you can get off of big pharma meds, if you can get off of the opiates and all the horrific garbage and literally eat to treat, save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars on pills, all the horrific things and side effects that it does to your body. and then you need more pills to take care of other problems. It's just ridiculous. So eat to treat, ladies and gentlemen. I support it wholeheartedly. Now, in that vein, by the way, of natural health, holistic, whatever, I always talk about hemp oil and cannabis and stuff like that. Well, because Lulu died of cancer, this reminded me today that I wanted to play the audio snippet from Rick Simpson's movie Run from the Cure about how to make cannabis and hemp oil for yourself if you do have cancer or a slew of other health issues. So I'm going to play that for you really quick. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, break out your pencils and your pads and take notes. Here you go. You want to learn how to cure yourself of ailments such as cancer? Check this out.
Sativa strains produce an oil that is a very good antidepressant and tends to energize a person. But most of the hemp oil I produce comes from indica strains. Indica strains tend to relax a person and give them more sleep. Rest and sleep are part of the healing process.
Place the starting material, preferably good bud, in a plastic container. Dampen the bud material in the container with the solvent you are using. Then crush the bud material. After the bud has been crushed, add more solvent until the material is completely covered. I generally use pure naphtha, but 99% isopropyl alcohol also works well as a solvent, as do many other substances. Work and stir the contents to let the THC dissolve into the solvent. This process takes 2 to 3 minutes. Drain the solvent from the starting material and put it through a coffee filter. The solvent now resembles the color of gasoline due to the presence of the hemp oil in the solvent. Make sure the area where you are going to boil the solvent off is very well ventilated. The idea is to carry the fumes away from the boiling solvent to reduce the danger of an explosion or fire. Special care must be taken to avoid red-hot elements or a spark of any kind that could ignite the fumes from the solvent. I have found that an electric rice cooker boils the solvent off very effectively. Bring the solvent oil mix in the rice cooker to a boil. Use a fan to carry the fumes from the solvent away. As the solvent boils off, continue adding more solvent oil mix until it is gone. As the level in the boiling pot comes down for the last time, add 8 to 10 drops of water. Since the boiling point of water is much higher than the boiling point of the solvent used, this water that was added allows the solvent to be released as the oil thickens. As the last of the solvent is being released, it is a good idea to lift the rice cooker and keep the contents in the cooker moving. This helps release any remaining solvent and also protects the oil from too much heat. At no time should the temperature of the oil go over 290 degrees Fahrenheit. Gently pour the oil from the rice cooker into a small metal container. Put this container with the oil into a dehydrator, or put the container on a gentle heating device such as a coffee warmer. It may take a few hours to evaporate the water off the oil. In the end, there should be no bubbling or other activity on the surface of the oil. When the oil is hot, it is quite runny, but as it cools, the oil takes on the consistency of a thick grease. Generally, a pound of good hemp bud will produce about 2 ounces of high-grade oil. Ingesting this amount of oil over a 2 to 3 month period is enough to cure most serious cancers.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You can pull it from the archives anytime you want, listen to that little snippet, and try to cure yourself of cancer instead of spending bazillions of dollars and poisoning yourself with chemo. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Final segment. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. So, reason I played that, by the way, I played that little snippet of Rick Simpson. And no, it's not. He's not affiliated with MagicalButter.com in any way, shape, or form. But the reason I played it is to keep everybody informed as to how you can cure yourself, how you can grow. With a simple plant, you can take the plant that is, a plant that you can, in certain states, you can grow now legally, and you can extract from it oil to cure most cancer and diseases and stuff like that. So I wanted to throw that in there really quick in the vein of getting the information out there, because it's been a really rough week, and with all the stuff that I had to go through this week, and losing a loved one to cancer. And this isn't the first time I've lost a loved one to cancer. If you have cancer or you know someone that has cancer, that is information that is invaluable. So I wanted to get it out there, and I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time. So we got a few minutes left. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a chance, just because you did not win a device, if you have a chance, if there's a few people that you perhaps know, maybe you know one person who's sick, maybe you can get together with a few people and you guys can cut the cost, break it up amongst you, and maybe purchase a device for this person and see how it works. Again, if it doesn't work, I'm willing to bet that if you contact the owner, Garyn, because he's very easy to get in touch with through the website and stuff. If you contacted them and said, look, this thing didn't help me at all, I'm pissed off, and I want to send it back and I want all my money back, I'm willing to bet that if that was the case, that they'd probably give you your money back, because that's just how they are. I mean, you heard him. He's genuinely as nice as you heard him to be in the interview. He really is that kind of a stand-up guy. That's just the way it is. So I suggest that if you know someone who's sick, get the device for them. Again, it's not an infomercial. He's not paying me. I'm telling you, I've seen this thing change people's lives. Do you want to see your friends get off of opiates? Do you want to see maybe your loved ones? Do you want maybe you yourself? And instead of spending all this money on all this other garbage, you're going to waste your money on stupid crap, right? So again, if maybe someone's really destitute and they don't have the money and they could use it, and there's a bunch of people that know of this individual, put the money together. Maybe a bunch of you can break it up, right? If you're an individual that does have money but is sick, maybe you should look into getting it for yourself. I'm telling you, I've seen it change people's lives. You should do it. I would not give my endorsement of it if it sucked. Again, it's not like a Ron Popeil thing or a George Foreman type grill thing or anything like that. This thing's actually helping people. It's not a gimmick used to make money. And the amount of these machines that he's given away for free, it just goes to show me that he's the real deal. I mean, he gave me a bunch of machines to give away for free as I wanted to. Okay, and he took you heard him talk about how he took the first generation machines and he tried giving them away to charities, and charities wouldn't take them. So, because I guess the stigma surrounding it or whatever. So he ended up giving it away to people that actually really needed it, and it would change their lives, right? So, trust me, I know this thing really works. I could harp on it all night long. The point is, we need to think outside the box, away from big pharma for cures to diseases and stuff like that. Hence why I also played the Rick Simpson clip for you. So if you happen to be in one of those states where it happens to be, quote unquote legal, whatever, then you can go out and you can make the stuff and cure yourself of ailments. And you can also use the said Magical Butter machine to do the same thing. You can infuse if you happen to live in one of those states, where it's legal and you can't get in trouble for that, because I wouldn't want to give you any ill advice or anything like that, heaven forbid. So it can be used. It wasn't made solely for that, but that's one of the things it can be used for, amongst a plethora of other things. You could put turmeric, make turmeric butter, or put turmeric, infuse it into like a salad dressing or an oil of some sort. That's the stuff you can help stave off cancer. Another antioxidant and cancer fighter. So, eat to treat is the motto of the company, and I can get behind that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again for tuning in tonight. And again, Mrs. Popeye and I thank you so much for all the love and support from all the listeners through a very rough and horrific week for us. So I'll be back again live on Monday, and I'll be on my A game. I have Carlos Miller from Photography is Not a Crime and Alex of FederalJack.com coming back on, and I will be doing a JFK episode again this week with author Sherry Feister. So stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the love and support. I can't thank you guys enough. With that, I'm out. I'm going to go take 2 days of much-needed rest. I'll catch you all again on Monday. I'm out of here. Love you all.